Welcome back to the ARP Quarter Mile Quiz. Hey, Steve, I hate to interrupt your breakfast here, but I need some help on a ARP Quarter Mile Quiz. Crystal Perry wants to know, after every run in a funny car, what all are parts that you have to change, or what do you inspect?
Well, basically we take all the rods and pistons out. We take the cylinder heads off, supercharger, all the clutch discs out. We measure the wear on the clutch disc, check the condition of the rods and pistons in the bottom end and make sure that everything looks okay there. And then we basically put all new, not all new parts in, but all parts of it that have been inspected, another set of cylinder heads, a whole new clutch pack, and that way we can ensure everything's the same on every run. If we left all those parts in it for another run, they'd all be junk when they came out.
And you might not get down the track.
No, probably not.
Mike wouldn't be happy.
No, he wouldn't be happy with us.
Hey, listen, looks like a great breakfast. I apologize for interrupting you. Hey, thanks for the question. For you folks at home, great looking ARP Quarter Mile Quiz sweatshirts waiting. I need to send you one. You send me a question.
Welcome back to Inside Drag Racing at the Don Garlits Museum of Drag Racing History, and probably one of the biggest and most legendary matchups in the entire history of drag racing involves the driver of this car and Big, Shirley Muldowney. Now, she was called the Queen of the Quarter Mile, and probably the myth and the legend continued to perpetuate itself because of the movie Heart Like a Wheel. Now, she won 3 NHRA national titles, but more importantly, I think she probably spread drag racing throughout the entire United States when she and Don Garlits would match up together. Every single track operator on the planet wanted that match race. Shirley Muldowney, they said she couldn't win any championships. As I said, she won 3 of them, and numerous track titles. They wanted Shirley and Don Garlits to match up. A beautiful car, and inspired a lot from the motion picture. Dolls, nice little cases, everything. Shirley Muldowney, one of the queens of drag racing right here. You know, speaking of innovation from that time period, Don Garlits is a man who made numerous innovations, too many to list right here. But one of the most important ones that he ever made dealt with the wing.
You know, a lot of people think that this wing on Swamp Rat 14 was the first wing in drag racing, but the fact of the matter is the first wing in drag race was on Swamp Rat 5, and I won the Winter Nationals in 1963 with that. But it didn't seem to be as effective on the slingshot as it was on this car. So when we built this car, at first it didn't have the wing, and we won several big events with it. But when I got to a match race in Shuffletown against Tommy Ivo, it was skating all over the track. I said, we need more down pressure. So we went back to Seffner, built this wing just like you see it here. This was the first one, little minor thing, you know, just a small airfoil. You know, pretty good strut so for it for what down pressure, probably getting 400 or 500 pounds here. Of course, today they've graduated to tall wings like that, and they put as much as 10,000 pounds of down pressure. So this is one of the things that have really caused the cars to go quicker and faster.
More legendary matchups. What about this? The Grumps car and the Mopar Missile. Don Carlton, the Mopar Missile, one of the best Mopars that ever campaigned down the track. Tragically, several years ago, he lost his life. Grumpy still remains as one of the top guys, engine builders in the entire sport of drag racing. Still very active today, and the Grump continues to build all kinds of horsepower. Why do they call him the Grump? Well, if you ever saw him at an NHRA or a drag racing pit area, you'd know. He's just kind of that gruff kind of man that he is. This incredible car right here really put down some incredible passes in its history, and the Grump still continues to be very actively involved in the sport. Driver, engine builder, tuner, Bill Jenkins gained notoriety back in the 1960s, winning with 6-cylinder and V8 Chevy performances of Dave Stickler and Bob Spanacotis. The original Grumpy's toy with a unique 327 cubic inch Nova began the Chevrolet challenge for domination against the Mopars back in the middle 60s. An incredible car. For over 40 years, Jenkins' stable earned 6 national championships, 36 NHRA national event wins, 6 times was elected to the Carcraft Magazine All-Star team, and he's still campaigning engines today.
This is Connie Coletta's 1967 Bounty Hunter, more aptly referred to as the Triple Crown winner. In all of the history of drag racing, no drag racer has ever won all 3 national events for 3 associations in the same year. Connie Coletta did the NHRA Winter Nationals at Pomona, the AHRA Winter Nationals held in Phoenix, and then came back to Florida to win the NASCAR Winter Nationals. I bet not many of you knew that NASCAR was actually in drag racing for a number of years. NHRA actually got them into drag racing in 1960 when they promoted the first Winter Nationals together at Spruce Creek. See, this has a single overhead cam Ford engine. This is not one of those 392 cars that there's parts laying all over the countryside in every swap meet. Kenny Windward came up with the blown fuel single overhead cam Ford engine for me. He was very astute in building these engines. He raced them on gasoline for years and years and had a lot of parts, and that was very helpful. A very expensive deal. It took us about 3 years to do the car, but now that it's complete, and by the way, this is a running car. We could take it out in the parking lot and start it up and run it if we wanted to. Everything is complete. We like to do them that way if we can, and we feel like it would be safe. Not many of them though, but this one was extremely nicely preserved chassis-wise, and as you can see, it came out just about the way old Connie ran her back in 1967.